If I may interject, officer, I've seen what's coming. And no disrespect meant, but you and your men can't protect shit!
Wants you down for dinner.
Mom could suck a fat one. The monsters are coming and you're all gonna die. Ha 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 ha.
Remember, you're not that shit, Derek. You're
Delightful, Derek. Where's after you? Suck my fat one! Jesus, what?
very
Who is Derek Turnbow in Stranger Things 5? Derek Turnbow is introduced in Stranger Things Season 5 as a student at Hawkins Elementary School, the same school Holly Wheeler attends. Physically, he's instantly recognizable. A chubby boy with brown hair, glasses, and a permanent "I'm up to something" expression on his face. We meet him properly in a playground scene that already says everything about his personality. Derek is the kid who spins the playground equipment way too fast, making Holly Wheeler's ride dangerous and terrifying, and he absolutely enjoys her panic. He laughs, mocks, and proves in just a few seconds that he is the kind of bully you instantly dislike, which is exactly what the Duffer Brothers wanted. At school, Derek keeps the same energy. He's rude to classmates, throws insults at adults, and doesn't seem to respect anyone. Articles in Portuguese media describe him as a boy with a dirty mouth and a huge attitude, highlighting how quickly he stands out in the final season, despite such a small initial role. On the surface, he's just another Hawkins bully, part of the tradition that started with characters like Troy and the older jocks. But Season 5 doesn't leave Derek in that cliché for long. From bully to unlikely hero, one of the most surprising things in Stranger Things 5 Volume 1 is how Derek as arc evolves. Critics have already called him one of the season's most unexpected highlights. Early in the season, Derek is branded with an unflattering nickname at school. Fans and characters refer to him as Dipsh** T. Derek because of his attitude. But as the story progresses and Vecna's threat grows, he slowly gets pulled into the larger conflict. According to coverage from outlets like Decider and Netflix's own Tudum, Derek goes from being an obnoxious classmate to a key part of a risky plan against the Upside Down. At one point, he's even rebranded in-universe as Delightful Derek, part of a playful strategy to use his personality and presence in a more positive way while helping the main group. What's clever is that the show doesn't magically erase his earlier behavior. He's still loud, still sarcastic, still the kid who can say something wildly inappropriate at the worst possible moment. But we start to see other sides of him: fear, loyalty, and even a strange kind of courage when things get truly dangerous. Derek ends up interacting with several core characters. The Stranger Things wiki lists him as connected to Holly Wheeler, classmate enemy, Mike Wheeler, Will Byers, Joyce Byers, Erica and Lucas Sinclair, Robin Buckley, and even Demogorgons, in a mix of kidnapped, protected, enemy labels that already tells you how wild his journey gets. He's involved in a wild plan to escape Vecna's influence, and multiple characters have to save him more than once, which creates some very funny and tense moments at the same time. By the end of Volume 1, Derek survives, but his future is uncertain and fans are nervous. The show has a reputation for killing beloved new characters, and there are still episodes left to air in the final season. This combination, bully energy, comic timing, and a genuine underdog redemption arc is exactly what turned Derek Turnbow into a mini phenomenon inside the fandom. The actor behind the character, meet Jake Connelly. Behind Derek's insults, facial expressions, and chaotic energy is Jake Connelly, a 13-year-old actor from a suburb of Chicago. Jake's path to Stranger Things didn't start with Hollywood movies or big agencies. According to an interview with Teen Vogue, his acting career really began with something very simple, a Windows commercial. That ad led him to agency representation, and from there, auditions started to appear, including the one that would change his life. The story of how he got the role is almost cinematic. Jake was at home in the middle of a tornado warning when the news came through that he had landed the part. The situation was tense enough that his family had to quickly hide in the basement, and In the middle of all that chaos, he found out he was going to be part of Stranger Things 5. Because of Netflix's strict secrecy, Jake couldn't tell anyone at school what he was working on for a while. Eventually, when it became public that he was playing Derek Turnbow in the final season, he turned into a mini celebrity in his own hallway. According to his own social media and interviews, he's still a regular middle schooler, balancing 8th grade classes with acting, homework, and hanging out with friends. His official Instagram bio describes him simply as a 13-year-old actor and confirms that he plays Derek Turnbow in Stranger Things 5. The account is parent-managed, which is common for young performers in the industry. Jake is also a Chicago Bears fan and plays football himself, which matches Derek's physical, energetic presence on screen. He looks like the kind of kid who would get into trouble on the playground and then run away laughing. Apart from Stranger Things, Jake is credited for the project Between the Silence, suggesting his career is just getting started and already diversifying into other roles. Working on the set of Stranger Things 5, for any young actor, stepping into the world of Stranger Things is like being thrown into the deep end of a very famous swimming pool. You're suddenly sharing scenes with names like Millie Bobby Brown, Finn Wolfhard, David Harbour, and Winona Ryder. But Jake seems to have handled it with a mix of excitement and calm. In interviews, he talks about how much he learned from simply watching the older cast members work, their professionalism, how they stay in character between takes, and how they handle complex emotional scenes. He also formed a strong bond with Nell Fisher, the actress who plays Holly Wheeler. It makes sense. Many of Derek's early scenes involve Holly, whether he's bullying her on the playground or later being dragged into larger, more dangerous situations. According to reports, the two got along really well off camera, which probably helped sell the tension and comedy on screen. Another interesting detail is the advice he received from Jamie Campbell Bower, the actor behind Vecna. Jamie's main message was simple but powerful: stay humble. It's a reminder that even when the world suddenly knows your face, the best thing for a young actor is to keep their feet on the ground. Jake has also mentioned how much he enjoyed the action-heavy sequences, scenes with explosions, late-night shoots, and large-scale set pieces. Some nights the cast had to stay on set until 2 a.m., which for a 13-year-old sounds both exhausting and unbelievably cool. All of that experience working among veterans, dealing with practical effects, and finding the right comedic rhythm helps explain why Derek feels so alive on screen, even when he's just delivering a one-liner in the background.
You're not dipshit Derek. You're
Delightful, Derek.
Why fans fell in love with Derek Turnbow. Derek's popularity isn't just about screen time, it's about presence. First, there's the comedy. He has perfect, annoying kid energy, the kind of boy who will talk back to adults, swear in front of teachers, and then act surprised when someone gets mad. His insults, reactions, and body language give him a memorable quality. Articles and fan discussions describe him as a lovable bully and even call him the real MVP of Season 5. Second, there's the redemption angle. Viewers love watching characters who start off unlikable and slowly reveal deeper layers. Derek's journey from dipsh T Derek to delightful Derek is exactly that. The show doesn't pretend he was secretly nice all along, but it lets him grow under pressure. Third, he serves as a mirror for Hawkins itself. He begins as a regular kid who just happens to be a jerk on the playground, a very normal problem in a very abnormal town. When the supernatural chaos escalates and he's forced to confront monsters, Vecna and the Upside Down, Derek becomes a symbol of how ordinary kids are dragged into extraordinary horror. His fear and confusion feel very real, but so does his eventual courage. Online, the reaction has been intense enough that there are already threads on Reddit debating his importance, his arc, and whether the show did the right thing by giving him such a big role in the final season. Love him or hate him, Derek Turnbow became impossible to ignore. fun facts and curiosities. There are several fun little details around Derek and Jake that you can easily turn into short segments in your video. Derek Turnbow. And Derek Turnbow? When the character's name was revealed, some fans were confused because there is also a real former MLB pitcher named Derek Turnbow who played for teams like the Milwaukee Brewers and Texas Rangers. Entertainment sites even published pieces clarifying that the baseball player has nothing to do with Stranger Things, and that Derek Turnbow in the show is purely fictional, played by Jake Connelly. Age and real-life personality Jake is around 13 years old and, according to interviews, much nicer in real life than his on-screen alter ego. He's described as friendly, enthusiastic, and very excited about both school and acting, which creates a fun contrast with Derek's aggressive, sarcastic attitude. Social media and parent management. Jake's Instagram account clearly states that it's parent-managed, which is a good reminder that behind the character, we're dealing with a real kid who still has homework, football practice, and normal teenage life. Explosions over everything asked about his favorite moments on set. Jake has mentioned enjoying the big action scenes with explosions and intense stunts. For a 13-year-old, being surrounded by practical effects and loud set pieces is basically a dream come true. Already building a career, even though Stranger Things 5 is his breakout role, his filmography is already growing. He's credited on IMDb and in Netflix press materials, and also appears linked to another project called Between the Silence. These small details humanize Jake and give you easy curiosity moments to use as chapter breaks or lighter segments in your video. Why Derek Turnbow matters in the final season. On a story level, Derek Turnbow isn't just comic relief. He represents a few important ideas in the final season of Stranger Things. The impact of bullying. Derek shows how bullies are formed inside the social ecosystem of Hawkins. He's not a monster, just a kid acting cruelly because he can. Seeing him pushed into real danger forces him, and us, to reevaluate his behavior. Redemption in extreme situations. The final season is full of characters trying to make things right. Parents, kids, and even former villains. Derek's smaller redemption arc echoes the bigger themes of the show. In Hawkins, no one stays the same once the Upside Down touches their life. A reminder of the show's roots. From the beginning, Stranger Things has been about kids and over their heads. Derek brings back that feeling of ordinary child thrown into extraordinary horror, which was very strong in Season 1. Through him, we see how terrifying all of this is to someone who wasn't a part of any previous battles. A new fan-favorite wildcard. Critics and websites have already highlighted Derek as one of the final season's standout characters, sometimes even calling him the real MVP of Season 5. Whether he survives the series or not, Derek Turnbow has already left his mark. He's the loud, chubby kid who starts off as a playground villain and ends up helping to save Hawkins, or at least trying in his own chaotic, hilarious way. Derek Turnbow may not be the hero Hawkins asked for, but he's definitely the one nobody will ever forget. From bully to unexpected fan favorite, he delivered far more than anyone predicted, and his journey is only getting started. As the final chapters of Stranger Things 5 unfold, one question remains: will he survive long enough to leave his mark on the series forever? If you want to keep following Derek's story, the hidden details of Season 5, and everything happening behind the scenes, make sure you stay with us. Like, subscribe, follow, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video here on the Planet Files. Your support helps this channel keep growing, and trust me, the next episodes are about to get even crazier. Stay tuned, because the Upside Down is far from done.